Good morning, children. I am physics tutor, Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Ramakrishnan. Today, I am going to cover the chapter electromagnetic waves. This lesson has less weightage, but even though it has got less weightage, we cannot ignore it. Maybe one question can come out from this, so we have to be thorough with the concepts. So it's a very simple lesson though. Most of the questions can be asked as a conceptual questions, like a theoretical, more of theoretical questions. No graphical questions will be asked in this particular chapter. So a few formulae to remember, but more concepts to remember, because this is now going to pave way for the ray optics and wave optics at the back and dual nature. So you'll have to be thorough with the concepts first. So let me quickly go through briefly how to access the Classics page. First of all, go to classics.com. This is our home page. Go to the practice. You can select the package, NEET Premium. There you can see the revision notes. Click on that. So we have done the revision notes for all the three subjects, physics, chemistry, and biology. It is a concise form for all the, especially for NEET. So because certain concepts may be included for both NEET and JEE, but when you come to NEET point of view, certain concepts can be reduced. It need not, you need not mix up with all the formulae and everything which are required for JEE also. So whatever is needed for NEET alone, you can remember. So we have framed this revision notes in such a way that whatever is essential for NEET, we have done it. It is specially made for NEET. It is tailor-made. So you can go through this. We have done chapter-wise questions, right from first chapter to the last chapter. Subject-wise, we have done. So now let us go to the electromagnetic waves. In electromagnetic wave, the variation of electric field vector can be given by the equation E equals E0 sine omega t minus V by C, where E0 is the initial EMF and t is the time taken, B is the potential and C is the capacitance. B is the applied potential and C is the capacitance. Also the magnetic field, so E is the electric field, and if B is the magnetic field, then B is given by V0 sine omega t minus x by C. All right, now coming to the Maxwell's equation, closed integral EdA is equal to Q by epsilon 0, which holds, you know this, we have studied in the Gauss's law of electricity also. And closed integral B dot dA is equal to 0 when it comes to Gauss's law of magnetism. Closed integral E dot di is equal to minus d phi E by dt, which is for Faraday's law. And closed integral B dot di is equal to mu 0 IC plus mu 0 epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. So this is the combination of Ampere and Maxwell's law. So this is what is called as the displacement current, and this concept has to be learned because this is what we are going to apply in this. One of the important formula in this lesson, we can see that. So displacement current ID is given by epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. Epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. That is the speed of light in vacuum. So C is given by E0 by B0. That is speed of light. C is given by E0 by B0, where E0 stands for the electric field and B0 is for the magnetic field. So speed of light in vacuum C is given by 1 by root of mu 0 epsilon 0. The speed of light or electromagnetic, where mu 0 is the permeability and of the magnetic field, and epsilon 0 is the permittivity of the permittivity of free space. Both are so mu 0 is with respect to the mu 0 is with respect to the magnetic field and epsilon 0 is with respect to the electric field. So the speed of light or electromagnetic waves in material medium is given by C is equal to 1 by mu E. So when it comes to, so earlier we saw 1 by root of mu 0 epsilon 0 is for free space, permittivity in free space, permittivity of the magnetic field and the electric field in free space. Here this is now going to be in medium. So 1 by root of, so whenever the electromagnetic waves are going to travel through a medium, then you take it as C is equal to 1 by root of mu E. Electric or energy density of the electric field UE is given by half epsilon 0 E squared, which is equal to UB. Here, both the energy of the electric field, energy density of the electric field and the magnetic field are the same. So it is now going to be UZ equal to 1 by 2 epsilon 0 E squared, which is equal to UB. So total average energy density is equal to UE plus UB. So 2UE is equal to 2UB, which is equal to half epsilon 0 E0 squared. So that is equal to V0 squared by 2 mu 0. So this is very important, children. So the average energy density, how to calculate the average density? UE plus UB, which is equal to 2UE, because they are going to be the same, right? So UE is equal to UB. So when you add both, you get it as 2. Either you can take it as 2UE or 2UB. So look into the question properly, analyze the question and see what is the data given and then apply the formula. Again and again, I'm repeating this because you have here, when we come down to the NEET tests, the time management is very, very important. You have to manage the time. You can't keep, every time you can't keep deriving the equations and then solve it. It is going to be a tough job. So it is always better to remember the formula and then directly apply it. So that is going to make things easier for you. So that is why, that is where NEET revision notes is going to really help you, because this is tailor-made for NEET exams. So half epsilon 0 E0 squared is equal to V0 squared by 2 mu 0. So these are the important formulae and the concepts here. So you can see formulae part is now going to be very, very less. Only the more of revision notes, I mean conceptual questions which can be asked from these questions from this lesson. So make yourself thorough. So having gone through this, let us go to the test. Now we have the subject-wise test. For physics, chemistry, and biology, we have the NEET full tests also. So since we are taking the physics test, click on the physics test. So you have the various colors here. The blue bubble stands for the test which you have not taken. You can take this test, which is you have not done this test. So green says you have already done this test. Yellow says it's an incomplete test and red is a random test. So even though you have taken the test once, if you're not happy with the result, you can go through the that particular test. You can go through that again and again until or otherwise you're going to be thorough with the concept. So if you're not thorough with the concept, go through the NEET notes, go through that once again, and then finally when you are thorough with the concepts, you can take the test. Now I'm going to take the first test. Take test. Understand. Go. Which of the following is the disadvantage of FM over AM? FM is the frequency modulation and AM is the amplitude modulation. The larger bandwidth requirement, larger noise, high modulation power, low efficiency. The disadvantage of FM over AM, that is a frequency modulation over AM, is FM requires a very large bandwidth, say about 15 times that of the AM. So it requires large bandwidth. So save that, go to the next. Radio frequency 300 megahertz to 3000 megahertz belongs to high frequency band, very high frequency band, ultra frequency band, and super frequency band. So let's see which option is correct. So we can see here that the radio frequency belongs to radio waves. Quickly, you can go through the, in the NCERT book, the table is, the spectrum is given. You can quickly go through that and then attempt this question. You can see that it is now going to be radio waves belong to the ultra high frequency. So option C is correct. Save that, go to the next. Now coming to question number 3. A laser is a coherent source because it contains many wavelengths, uncoordinated wave of a particular wavelength, uncoordinated wave of many wavelengths, coordinated wave of many wavelengths, coordinate wave of a particular wavelength. All right. Laser is nothing but a coherent source, you know that. Why is it a coherent source? Coherent source should be all the waves should be of a particular wavelength, right? So they are all coherent together, or they are all coordinated together. So you can say coordinated waves of a particular wavelength. Option D is correct. Go to the 4th question. Laser beams are used to measure long distances because they are monochromatic, they are polarized, they are coherent, they have high degree of parallelism. Now, laser beams are perfectly parallel because they are very narrow and they can travel through very long distances without spreading. Okay, so you can say they have high degree of parallelism. So you can say that option to be correct. Now coming to the 5th one. For television broadcasting, the frequency employed is normally, so this is now going to be television. Earlier we saw for radio broadcasting. This is now going for radio waves. This is now going to be for television broadcasting. The frequency employed is normally 30 to 300, 30 to megahertz. So look children, everything is identical. You'll have to see the units here, whether it is megahertz, gigahertz, kilohertz or hertz. So we'll have to be very careful. So it is generally megahertz. Okay, so option A should be correct. So all of them say this 30 to 300, but make sure what is now going to be the units of frequency, whether it is megahertz, gigahertz, kilohertz or hertz. So it is very clear that it is for television broadcasting, it is going to be megahertz. So first option is correct. Click that, go to the 6th one. A laser beam is used for carrying out surgery because nowadays you know that there are surgeries which are, you should have heard about the pinhole surgeries, because these surgeries replace in the medical field, because earlier the surgical operations, during this operations you can see there are huge loss of blood, and so many post-operation care also has to be taken. The stitches has to get healed. Sometimes they might become septic, and that might lead to several infections also. So all these factors can be reduced, or it can be avoided by when you do a laser surgery. So what is the, why is it used? Let us see, why is it used? Do you prefer a laser beam? Because it is highly monochromatic, it is highly coherent, highly directional, can be sharp focused. Earlier, now we saw that they are coherent, and we also saw that they are perfectly parallel, they are narrow, and they can travel through long distances without spreading. So all these factors put together, that's to say that they are sharply focused. Okay, so the option D is correct. So save that, go to the 7th one. The speed of electromagnetic waves in vacuum is given by 1 by mu 0 epsilon 0, 1 by root of mu 0 epsilon 0, just mu 0 epsilon 0, or root of mu 0 epsilon 0. All right. Now you know the speed of electromagnetic waves in vacuum is given by velocity of light, where c is nothing but 1 by root of mu 0 epsilon 0. So obviously B option should be correct. Now coming to the 8th one. In an electromagnetic wave traveling in air, the amplitude E0 and B0 of the electric and magnetic fields are related as C is the speed of wave in air, he says. So which option is going to be correct? E0 is equal to CB0. E0 is equal to B0 by C. E0 is equal to C squared B0. E0 is equal to B0. Which option is going to be correct? So in electromagnetic wave traveling in air. Now you know E0 by B0 is C. Right? E0 by B0 is C. So when you cross multiply and bring, you want only E0. So E0 should be equal to C B0. So option A is correct. Save that. If Vx, Vm and Vr are respectively the speed of X-rays, microwaves and radio waves in air, then which should be correct? Now we know the wavelength of X-rays ranges from 1 degree Armstrong to 100 degrees Armstrong. Lambda for or wavelength for microwaves ranges from 10 to the power of 7 degrees Armstrong to 10 to the power of 9 degrees Armstrong. And wavelength of radio waves ranges from 10 to the power of 9 Armstrong to 10 to the power of 14 Armstrong. So when you say, you can say that the wavelength of X-rays is lesser than that of the microwaves, which is lesser than that of the radio waves. So, you know, wavelength and energy are inversely proportional. So, if the wavelength is less, then their energy should be more. That is, energy of the radio waves will be, sorry, energy of the X-rays will be greater than the energy of the microwaves, which is greater than that of the radio waves. So obviously, you know, energy is proportional to V. So we can say V. So velocity, you know, is now going to be e to the power of x greater than. So option A should be correct. Let us see. Once again, so he says the speed, right? Yeah, speed. So energy and speed, velocity are now going to be directly half mv squared, right? So it is now going to be directly proportional. So obviously that should be correct. Yeah. Now coming to the 10th one. Electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. It is evident by polarization, interference, reflection, diffraction. All right. So interference and diffraction, they explain the wave nature of light or electromagnetic waves. You know, light is also a form of electromagnetic wave. And polarization is the phenomenon by which we restrict the vibrations of a wave in a particular direction, which is perpendicular to the direction of the wave propagation. Okay. So that explains the transverse nature of the EM waves. So which option should be correct? So electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature is followed by polarization. So click that. If c is the speed of electromagnetic waves in vacuum, their speed in a medium of dielectric constant K and relative permeability mu r is given by speed of the light in medium, you know, is given by 1 by root of epsilon 0 into mu. So, you know, the dielectric medium will reduces Coulomb's constant by the dielectric. So, by using a dielectric constant, you can see that it is now going to get reduced, thereby increasing the value of E by the same amount, and the relative permeability increases mu by mu r. Okay, so option C should be correct. Yes. Let's save that. Go to the next. We can establish an instantaneous displacement current of 1 ampere in the space between the two plates of 1 microfarad parallel plate capacitor by varying voltage at the rate of 10 to the power of 9 volts per second, 10 to the power of 12 volts per second, 10 to the power of 8 volts per second, and 10 to the power of 6 volts per second. All right. Let us now quickly solve this. Now you all know ID is equal to displacement current. ID is equal to epsilon 0 d into phi E by dt, or d phi E by dt. You can put it as d phi E by dt. Yes. or which is equal to epsilon 0 d into d by dt of EA, where E is the applied field, electric field, and A is the area of crossing area. So again, A is going to be a constant. I can take that outside. So A epsilon 0 d by dt of dE by dt. We can put this dE by dt. But you know, dE by dt again is V by D. So I will write this as A epsilon 0 into d by dt of V by D. Again, you know, D is a constant, so I'll take that outside. So that becomes A epsilon 0 by D into dV by D. But you know, this part, this is nothing but C. So that is equal to C into dV by D. So from this is I0, right? So from this we get dV by dt is equal to I0 by C. Let's see which option is correct. I0 by C. So I'm sorry, children. I solved I think I solved another one. Just a second. Let me redo that again. One second. We'll read the question. I just mistook for another one. We can establish an instantaneous displacement current of 1 ampere in the space between the two plates where the of a 1 microfarad parallel plate capacitor by varying the voltage at the rate of how much? Okay. So by varying the plate, just a second. Now look into the data which is given. You can see that it is now going to be 10 to the power of 9. What are the options given? 10 to the power of 9, 10 to the power of 12, 10 to the power of 8, and 10 to the power of 6 volts per second. So you can now establish the instantaneous current I0. Okay, so that is given by option D is correct. That's because the displacement current is 1 and the space between, so the instantaneous displacement current I0 is given by, ID is given by 1 and the space between the plates is given by, the capacitance is given by 1 microfarad. So what I did was right, yes. So you can know that dV by dt is equal to I0 by C. We just derived that. So from that, if you take that, it is now going to be microfarad 10 to the power of minus 6. So it is 1 by 10 to the power of 6. So 10 to the power of minus 6, when it goes up, it will become 10 to the power of 6. So option D is correct. So say that. So what we did is right. So you can as well derive it. So, or you can simply remember the, so you won't have time to derive all this. So what you do is you just take the, remember the value, I is equal to C times dV by dt. Okay. I is equal to C times dV by dt, or I0 by C is equal to dV by dt. Remember this formula. Once you're done with that, you can simply substitute the values and then. So, you know, I0 was given as 1 and C was given as 1 microfarad. 1 microfarad is nothing but 1 into 10 to the power of minus 6. So 1 by 10 to the power of minus 6. So 10 to the power of minus 6, when it goes up, will become 10 to the power of 6. So that was, D was the correct option. Now coming to the 13th question. A plane electromagnetic wave in the visible region is moving along the Z direction. The frequency of the wave is 0.5 10 to the power of 15 hertz. And the electric field at any point is varying sinusoidally with time with the amplitude of 1 volt per meter. Calculate the average rules of densities of the magnet. Yeah, this is easy. All right. Now you know V0 by 4 mu 0 is equal to 1 by 4 into E0 squared divided by U0 C squared. Now, having known all the values, we can simply substitute it. So 0.25 the whole square divided by 4 pi mu 0, is nothing but 4.10 to the power of minus 7 into C squared is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 the whole square. C is going to be the velocity of light. So 3 into 10 to the power of 8 the whole square. When you simplify this, the value comes to 2.21 into 10 to the power of minus 12 joules per meters square. So 2.21 into 10 to the power. So option A is correct. Again, you'll have to see for different options. See, 2.21 in 10 to the power of minus 12 is correct. The second option is 2.21 10 to the power of minus 2. You'll be carried away when you're in a hurry to click the correct option. Look into the powers carefully. So it is, and again also the decimal points all have the same value only, but only thing is the decimal points are different here. So you'll be carried away. You might miss the one there. See, 10 to the power of minus 12 is the correct option. The second option says it's 10 to the power of minus 2. So in a hurry, if you click the B option, that one wrong. So be careful while choosing the options also. Save that. Go to the next. Calculate the energy of electromagnetic waves of wavelength 3000 degrees angstrom. All right, this is a calculation which has to be done. Now you know E is equal to hc by lambda. Now you know h is the Planck's constant, c is the velocity of light, and lambda is the wavelength. So 6.63, Planck's constant is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into c, velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 8, and lambda is given as 3000 into 10 to the power of angstrom. You're converting it to meters. So that gives you 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 14 joules. So this 3, now this becomes 10 to the power of 3 into 10 to the power of 3 you can write. So that becomes 10 to the power of minus 7 at the bottom. So that when it goes up, so you can calculate and find out it is now going to be 10 to the power of minus 14 joules. Calculate and find this out. So, 1 watt is equal to 1 joules per, so 1 watt hour is equal to 1 joules per second. Okay, 1 joule per second into 3600. So, which is equal to 3600 joules. So, we need to convert this joules to watt hour. So, therefore, E is equal to 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 14 divided by 3600, which is equal to 1.84 into 10 to the power of minus 22 watt hours. Let's see which option is correct. 10 to the power of 1.84 and 10 to the power of minus 22. So you can see option C is correct. Click that. Now the last question. A plane electromagnetic wave of frequency 30 megahertz travels in free space component of wave at a point E is equal to 6V by M along the y direction. The magnetic field component B at this point would be what? Okay. Let's quickly solve this. Magnetic component B is given by E by C. By E stands for the electric field and C is the velocity of light. So velocity of light or velocity of the electromagnetic wave, we can take it that way. So which is equal to E is given as 6 and this is now 3 into 10 to the power of 8, which is nothing but 2 into 10 to the power of minus 8. So which option is correct? 2 into 10 to the power of So now we have to see which direction. So you have two options saying 2 to the power of minus 8 along z and along y. Now the wave is propagating along the x direction, and the electric field along y and the magnetic field along z. So now we have to see the magnetic, we have to calculate for B only. So the magnetic field should be along the z direction. So option A is correct. Click that. So we have ended this test. Now end the test. The loads are results are loading. Let's see how much got. One went wrong. Let's see which was the question which went wrong. All right. He says the speed is now the speed of X-rays, microwaves, and radio waves air are equal. They are now going to be equal, he says. Let's see the explanation. Electromagnetic waves of all frequencies travel with same speed in air. So irrespective of the wavelength or the velocity does not depend on that. So it is now frequency. So electromagnetic waves of all frequency travel with same speed in air. So even though you have to look into the question, see in air it is given. So we shouldn't miss that. So in air the frequency is same. So option D is correct. That is where we went wrong. Otherwise all our options were correct. So so by this you can see the green one says the correct answers, the red one was the incorrect answer. So we verified that, and we didn't miss any of the questions. We saved everything, and so none was unanswered. So this is how you check. You can verify your answers. The explanation for every answer is being given. You can as well understand the concept even if you went wrong. So go through the concepts repeatedly again and again. Take the test, go through the revision notes. You can take these tests any number of times until you are satisfied with the final answers. Okay. So as I told you, the revision notes are tailor-made exclusively for NEET exams. So do purchase this. You will get these revision notes for free, and then you can as well access the revision notes and the revision tests also. So do you have any questions, children?